Shalom. Call Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. Call Yahweh by Shem Yahushua Mashiach. Shabbat Shalom to those that's keeping Friday sundown to Saturday sundown Shabbat. And peace and blessings to those, that keep a different Sabbath. We're not about to do a debate on what the Sabbath is, but peace and blessings to you. Call Yahweh by Shem Yahushua Mashiach. All glory and honor to Yahweh in the name of his son Yahweh Shah. Fisherman of Zion back with another video through the spirit of power of Yahweh Shah. Don't count this as a light thing to do. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh in the name of his son Yahweh Shah. Call Yahweh by Shem Yahushua Mashiach. Shalom to the saints, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Those that understand and know that they are descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Peace and blessings to you. We're gonna hop straight into it. Gotta go to walk up the camp, but through the spirit, this is gonna be a Lord willing, a decent, edifying, short lesson. I believe it's titled, "How are you serving your generation? Worldly wickedness or holy righteousness?" You can say, well, why is he saying holy righteousness? Is it the same thing? So before we get into that, I'm gonna open up this real quick. And the Apocrypha. This is Second Esdras. Peace and blessings to you. All glory and honor to Yahweh in the name of his son, Yahweh Shah. Shabbat Shalom to those that's keeping the Sabbath. So this is Second Esdras chapter 2. And I'm gonna start at verse 3, and it reads. So like not verse 3, but so like in Second Esdras chapter 3, and I'm gonna start at verse 20. In the Apocrypha of Second Esdras, Shalom, Shalom, Hebrew daughter in the building. All praise to the Most High, Yahweh Shem Shah. This is Second Esdras in Apocrypha for those that aren't familiar with the Apocrypha. You also can read about Ezra in the 1611 in the book of Ezra, according to the so-called Old Testament. So this is Second Esdras chapter 3, and I'm gonna start at verse 20, and it reads, Shalom, Shalom. Second Esdras chapter 3 and verse 20. It says, and yet tookest thou not away from them a wicked heart, that thy law might bring forth fruit in them. It's talking about the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It's talking about the sons of God, the chosen Adam. The Lord gave us the law, statutes, commandments to bring forth fruit, and to be able to glorify the Most High, because if your job tell you to, clock in at 3 o'clock and you clock in after 3 o'clock, then, obviously you might get a write-up or something. But if the Lord tell us to keep the Sabbath, we're going to keep the Sabbath. And if we fall short, the Most High Yahweh has given us Yahweh Shah, as a way to have our transgressions and our iniquities blotted out in a way that, if we're not willfully sinning. So the law, statutes, commandments are still on the earth, still are valuable for us to keep. Now, like the title says, we're going to get straight into it. We're not going to play any games today. This is, how are you serving your generation? Worldly wickedness or holy righteousness? Are you an Israelite? She said, Google changed Fisherman Zion to something else. Yeah, man, these devices, Satan, we're not ignorant of Satan devices, But regardless, the Lord word gonna get put in the forefront. So you can know you're an Israelite, you can know you're a descendant of Jacob, but your works is really gonna speak and show the magnitude of what you really saying, because the Lord said in 1 Samuel, let me get this real quick. It doesn't matter what comes out of your mouth, Of course, you don't want to blaspheme the name of the Most High. You don't want to testify against the Holy Spirit and to testify wickedness, but your actions really is going to speak volumes. Now, this is 1 Samuel chapter 2 and verse 3, and it says, talk no more so exceeding proudly. Let not arrogancy come out of your mouth. For the Lord Yahweh is a most high God of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed. So nobody cares if you walking up and down the street with fringes on, and if you're a woman with a dress on and your hair wrapped, and you looking holy and mighty, but it all comes to play. You got to get off that bench. You got to get in the game. So when it's time to get in the game, your actions really gonna speak. What are you really doing? Because it's a lot of Israelites that they're no different from people in the world. They doing the same thing people in the world do. So that's why we have to title it holy righteousness, meaning holy means set apart. Righteousness is really going into the magnitude of, allowing that light to shine. Let me get this in Psalms real quick. This is Psalms, because the law, statutes, and commandments is supposed to bring forth out of us righteousness. Now, this is Psalms chapter 19, and I'm going to start at verse 7, and it reads, Psalms chapter 19 and verse 7, the law of the Lord Yahweh is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. The statutes of the Lord are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of the Lord Yahweh is pure, enlightening the eyes. So once I realized that, masturbating was evil and wicked, it enlightened my eyes. Looking at a woman, lusting after another woman, enlightening my eyes. If that woman is not my wife, if she's not promised to me, smoking weed, inhaling, some type of laboratory chemical should have enlightened your eyes if you was reading and searching the scriptures daily and trying to get closer to the Lord. Hating your brothers and sisters should enlighten your eyes to the point where, I can't be doing this. Let me apologize. Let me let them know that this is not the way that I'm coming in. I'm not coming in jealousy. I'm not coming in the spirit of envy. So our eyes should be enlightened with the knowledge and the wisdom and understanding of the Most High. So verse 9, Psalms 19 and 9, the fear of the Lord Yahweh is clean, enduring forever. The judgments of the Lord Yahweh are true and righteous altogether. So we want to strive for righteousness, because the Lord also told us to be perfect. He told us, as well as he told Abraham. Let me get there real quick. Matthew chapter 5 and then Genesis chapter 17. So this is Matthew chapter 5. So being perfect, where's the perfecting and where's the perfection at? And us saying that we Israelites, so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, but we're not striving to keep the Sabbath day. You striving more to be a comedian than to follow the words of the Most High. You're striving more to go viral and to be famous than to do the will and the works of the Most High, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. So where's the perfection into that? You just want to sleep. You want to get sleep more. When the Most High done put his hand on you and your spirit is heavy, so you're just saying, well, I don't know why I woke up. Let me just go back to sleep. Where's the perfection at? So this is Matthew chapter 5 and verse 48, and it reads, be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. So we can open up our mouth and say we're Israelites, We can say that we're children of the Most High God. We can say the same thing the Christian church says, saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost. You can open up your mouth and say any and everything. But what are your works? What are your works speaking forth? What fruits are you bringing? What fruits are you showing? Peace, faith, hope, love, kindness, long-suffering, meekness. Is there anything in your arsenal or anything that is in your hands that you put your hands forth to? Now, Genesis chapter 17 real quick. Because you can say you're a man of the Most High, but you could be paying women to have sex, You could be doing all type of wicked, heinous acts, and we're going to read about things like that in the scriptures, Lord willing. This is Genesis chapter 17 and verse 2, No man of the Most High should be laying down with women with harlots, just to comfort themselves. Where is the perfection in that? When the Lord said he gave you a comforter, the Lord said he gave you, and look, people just left, and that's what we want. We want people to hear the word of the Lord and get uncomfortable, That's what we want. We not here to teach no prosperity messages. I don't care about 100 people coming on the live and trying to keep all 100 people on the live, That's how it's got to be some truth in that. Because everybody ain't really seeking the Lord in these last days, So this is Genesis chapter 17 and verse 2, and it reads, "And I will make my covenant between me and thee." I'm going to start at verse 1. Genesis chapter 17 and 1. "And when Abram was 90 years old and 9, the Lord Yahweh appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty Most High God. Walk before me and be thou perfect." So, what are we doing? We're trying to perfect ourselves into making the most money that we can make in this society. Trying to get more oppressors in our pockets, more oppressors in our bank accounts. Riding around with a oppressor name on your car. Trying to get a Tesla, trying to get a Benz. When we really should be trying to get a chariot, trying to get a seat and a ticket in the Most High's angelic vehicle to get us out of this hellhole. So what are we doing? So let me get this real quick, cause we can't be lukewarm. This is revelation. Meaning we can't be here and there, thinking we can be here and there at the same time. All right, let me go to work, and then when I get to work, let me get in the word. And then when I get home, let me just group chat my coworkers so I'm at home and then I can still be at work at the same time. No, you can't be two places at one time. We're not angels. We're not the Most High. We're not the creator of the heavens and earth. You either gonna be in the truth and doing what the Most High commanded you to do, or you gonna be in the world saying you're an Israelite, moving in the spirit of a reprobate. So this is Revelation chapter 3 and verse 15, and it reads, "I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou wert cold or hot. So then, because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth." Meaning, if you cold, you just doing whatever you want to do. You're not doing what the Lord commanded you to do. But if you hot, meaning you burning for the Lord. Your spirit is just cutting your flesh up. Your flesh saying, get drunk, let's go party. And then your spirit saying, no, we're going to serve the Lord. Your friends say, come on, let's go out, let's have fun, let's go to the club. And your spirit open up your mouth and say, no, it's the Sabbath, I'm doing the will of the Most High. So are you cold or you hot? So that's like the title says, are you serving your generation? How are you serving your generation? Are you just a basketball player and known as a basketball player? Are you just a football player? Are you just a tennis player? What have you done for your generation? Are you just a content creator? You just make content to make people laugh, to get a lot of views. Are you just set up to be a stumbling block? Are you just set up to be a way to keep people away from the truth? Are you just a beautiful woman to deceive a man, to allow him to fall, and whoever is just falling and going after the lust of their flesh? Are you that woman that's going to cause that man, that prince, to go astray? Or are you going to be that righteous man and that righteous woman, that's going to do the will of the Most High and follow the ways of the Most High, And then everything around you, you're going to direct it and lead it to the commandments, lead it to the faith, lead it to the statutes, lead it to the judgments, So how are you serving your generation, Now, we're going to read this real quick. This is Matthew chapter 1. Matter of fact, I'm going to get Mark real quick. because, you know, the generation that we're living in, you know, had the same, what word I want to use? They had the same opportunities. We have the same opportunities as our forefathers had. You either can do wicked or you either can do righteous. Not saying we have free will, because free will is not according to the Bible, because the Most High predestined it. He already chose an election. He already set a chosen man up. He already established a covenant with the nation. You know, he chose a nation, and the other kingdoms and people he did not choose. You know, so he knew he was going to be here today. He knew a certain amount of vessels weren't going to be here today. So the Lord had already set this thing up. But mainly speaking on, you know, what are you fighting? You know, are you forsaking the flesh and the cares of this world? Now, this is Mark real quick. This is Mark chapter 13. I want to go to Mark chapter 13, and I want to go to verse 30. It's the book of Mark chapter 13 and verse 30, and it reads, "Verily I say unto you, that this generation shall not pass till all these things be done." So what is the Lord saying? This generation shall not pass till all these things be done. He's really saying that the same spirits that was on the earth when he was walking are going to come back, going to be regenerated back, and still going to be on the earth until he makes his second return. You know, that's why he said this generation shall not pass till all these things be done, which all the prophecies hasn't been done. You know, there's many prophecies that still got to be done. Many things that he said will happen still got to happen. You know, Isaiah 55 and 11, you know, whatever the Lord spoke is going to come back. You know, it says, Salaki, it said, "I never thought it like that. I do own a Benz, but it wasn't for that reason. Stays or anything. I understand though. Should I get rid of it? No, we're not gonna be over righteous. You know, it's a lot. Like Paul said. Paul spoke about food that's sacrificed to idols. You know, in the shambles. You can apply this same logic and ideology to that. You know, we're not gonna say trade your car in and things like that, because the Lord said in 1 Corinthians 7 and 31, use the word but don't abuse it. You know, and a lot of people, you know, you got a lot of Israelites trying to be over righteous, saying Nikes are backed by Greek gods and Greek names. You know, we're not going to tell you to walk around barefooted. We're not going to tell you to be over righteous, but you do want to understand that whatever you're getting, you should prepare your spirit, and your mental to be ready to lose it for the Lord's sake. You know, so we're not going to be over righteous, but regardless of what names and what gods, we don't believe in that. We believe in the Most High. Let me get this real quick, and then I'm going to go back to this. You know, just to help, you know, just to help this soul out to understand. So this is Isaiah chapter 43 and verse 10. It reads, "Ye are my witnesses, said the Lord Yahweh, and my servant whom I have chosen." So the Lord chose the Israelites, the descendants of Jacob, that ye may know and believe me. So if you know and believe in the Lord, as a read and understand that I am he, before me there was no God formed, neither shall there be after me. So we know idols aren't real. We know idols don't have power. You know, we know the Most High Yahweh, in the name of his son Yahweh Shah, has power. You know, so, you know, to help you out, no, I wouldn't get rid of the car. You know, just understand and know that, you know, the Most High has power, and all these idols will be broken down and trodden underfoot. Revelation chapter 11, you know, verse 15 on down. The kingdoms of this world will be overthrown when Yahweh Shah, the Messiah, comes back. You know, so that Mercedes Benz, you know, it's gonna get burnt up just like my car gonna get burnt up. But Lord willing, the Lord would trade your Mercedes Benz in for a chariot, a UFO, if you can understand. So going back to this, Mark chapter 13 and verse 30, and it reads, "Verily I say unto you, that this generation shall not pass till all these things be done. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away." Even though we know the earth is still going to be here, you know, we got to understand that this rulership isn't going to continue to thrive, you know. So let me go up a little bit just to get a little bit more on this. This is Mark chapter 13 and verse 23, and it reads, "But take ye heed, behold, I have foretold you all things. But in those days, after that tribulation, the sun shall be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light. And the stars of heaven shall fall, and the powers that are in heaven shall be shaken. And then shall they see the Son of Man," talking about Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach, the Messiah, the anointing, "coming in the clouds with great power and glory. And then shall he send his angels, and shall gather together his elect from the four winds," meaning those that he already predestined and set up, "from the uttermost part of the earth to the uttermost part of heaven. Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When her branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh. So ye in like manner, when ye shall see these things come to pass, know that it is nigh, even at the doors." So the kingdom of heaven is getting closer, you know. The kingdom of heaven is literally at our doorstep. So we got to ask ourselves, and we got to examine ourselves, are we being wicked, you know, saying that we Israelites? Because the Lord is going to judge the Israelites according to how he set them up. He gave us the law, statutes, commandments, you know, Deuteronomy chapter 4, Deuteronomy chapter 5. You know, the Lord made a covenant with our forefathers. You know, he chose our forefathers. We can't say, well, I want to be adopted. You know, I don't want to be chosen anymore. I don't want to abide by this covenant. That ain't how this thing works. We got to stick to the plan. You know, you can't overthrow the master. You know, try to go to the bank and say, you know, I had an account here a long time ago. Give me everything in this bank. You can't. This ain't how this goes. You know, we can't tell the Lord to speed this thing up. You know, I've been keeping the commandments. I've been believing for X amount of years. You know, so speed this thing up. No, Abraham gotta wait. Isaac gotta wait. Jacob gotta wait. Moses gotta wait. Joshua gotta wait. Aaron gotta wait. Miriam gotta wait. You know, Moses didn't even get a chance to cross over. You know, didn't even go past the Jordan. You know, so I mean, what are we saying? We just gotta continue to hold on. Now I want to get this real quick in the book of Acts. It's the book of Acts, chapter 13. It's the book of Acts, chapter 13, and I'm gonna start at verse 36. Acts chapter 13 and verse 36. It says, "For David, after he had served his own generation by the will of Most High God." So even King David, he served his generation. And if you know anything about King David and the history and the background on how he came into play and how the Lord chose him, how the Lord set him up, he served his generation. You know, he was doing a lot of fighting. He was doing a lot of worshiping. You know, he was playing the harp. You know, he was casting out demons, taking spirits off men that hated him, envied him, was jealous of him, wanted to kill him. You know, he showed long suffering. King David showed mercy to others. You know, and we can't even go a day, you know, without showing hatred towards somebody, murmuring under our breath, speaking bad about another Israelite. You know, instead we should be praying for another Israelite. You know, should be thanking the Most High that we got other Israelites around us, because it's gonna come a day where one of us, if not all of us, gonna desire to see somebody. You know, you may be in a city, you know, nothing but death angels running rampant, and you might not even see flesh. You know, it might be an armed legend type experience in your nearest city. You know, nothing but gunshots, nothing but bombs dropping. You know, nothing but tanks going up and down your road, and you just keep taking these days for granted, saying, I don't want to be around no Israelites. I don't want to go to no feast days with no Israelites. You know, I don't want to give no precepts to no Israelites. Well, all your words going to be weighed in the balance, and they're going to be accounted against you, you know, and they're going to attest, you know, and the Lord going to replay everything back, you know, and the Lord can do that. You know, the Lord can allow you to remember things that you said 13 years ago, 12 years ago, 7 years ago. You know, we don't have the ability to really know how the Lord really get down to the full extent, and how the Lord can, you know, just move his hand and just show us things that we never even seen before. You know, So like this says again, Acts chapter 13 and verse 36. It says, for David, after he has served his own generation by the will of Most High God, fell on sleep and was laid unto his fathers and saw corruption, But he's going to be risen back. The Lord is going to raise him back up, with a spiritual body, a new body, And I'm led to believe he's on the earth right now, still speaking according to the words of the Most High and keeping the commandments and the faith, That's just me. I'm led to believe he's back on the earth in a different vessel, in a different body, but the same spirit in a different body. So he served his generation, Isaiah, he served his generation. Ezekiel served his generation. You saying, what are you saying, brother? What are you talking about? They served their generation. Well, let's read this real quick to help edify the church, the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So this is Matthew, because this is the generation that we're in. You can say, well, I'm 50 years old. I'm 19 years old. I'm 20 years old. Well, if you're alive, this is the generation that the Lord allows us to be living in. So this is Matthew chapter 1. And I'm going to start at verse 1. And it reads, the book of the generation of Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, even though it says Jesus Christ. To some that may be new, that may not understand the truth, Jesus, we understand that means Yahweh Shah, he who saves, Christ just means anointed, Hamashiach. Read verse 21, Matthew 1 to 21. Now it says the book of the generation of Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. And we're going to go down to verse 17. Matthew 1 and 17. So all the generations from Abraham to David are 14 generations. And from David unto the carrying away into Babylon are 14 generations. And from the carrying away into Babylon unto Christ, Hamashiach, are 14 generations. So this from David all the way to the Messiah, Yahweh Shah, was 14 generations. So just imagine all of those. And when you read Matthew chapter 1, you can look at all of these. Jesse, King David's father, Abinadab. You got all of these that you read about in this chapter right here. They served their generation. Some served it in righteousness. Some served it in wickedness. So we got to ask ourselves, what are we doing? What are we serving? Kobe Bryant, he served his generation as a well-known basketball player. Now I wasn't beside him, man. I didn't grow up. I didn't grow up around Kobe Bryant. But all I know Kobe Bryant for is for playing basketball, a shooting guard, scoring. But I want to be known for serving the Lord. Not serving the National Basketball Association. I want to be known for praying for others. Somebody come to me and they get jammed up, their back is against the wall. I want to be known for helping them out. I want to be known for always teaching the Bible, reading, always making sure my wife and children are financially provided for as well as spiritually provided for. I don't want to be known as a hypocrite. I don't want to be known as a lukewarm. I don't want to be known as a false prophet. I don't want to be known as a whoremonger. I don't want to be known as a thief. I don't want to be known as a scammer. But you got a lot of men and women, they're going to be, regardless of what they saying they are, who they are, or what they believe, you're going to be known by your works. You're going to be known by what you're doing. I ain't seen certain brothers in months. I don't know. I don't know what they doing. I don't know what they known by. I'm looking at your works. And that's what the Lord looking at. He looking at your works. You got a lot of people on social media, hey, to me, somebody that should be having discernment, somebody that should be moving in the spirit of being aware and judging certain matters, not just going based on what you're seeing. You can put any and everything on the internet, but guess what? We got to see the works. That can be entertainment. You can a woman can put makeup on, she can fix her hair and do all these other things, but what are your works? The angels are gonna attest and testify. They're gonna make the matter known. Okay, this woman, she was here yesterday And then 3 witnesses said, she left with a man. And then 2 more witnesses said they seen her, at an ATM asking another man for money. And then his brother across town, he was at a club, and then 3 hours later, he went to the liquor store, and then 3 hours later, we seen him, with fringes on, holding the Bible. And then last week, somebody said they seen him, across the street, and it looked like a prostitute got in his car. So the angels, they gonna test that. You're not gonna mock the Most High. I'm not. The Lord is not gonna allow me to just continue to mock him. That's the law. Let me get there real quick in Exodus. I mean, you can say you're an Israelite all day and night, but you're not gonna speak the Lord's name in vain. So this is Exodus chapter 20, and I'm gonna start at verse. Let me see what verse I want to start at. Even though we really should be getting in the law on the Sabbath. So this is Exodus chapter 20, and I'm going to start at verse 7, and it reads, "Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord Yahweh thy Most High God in vain. For the Lord Yahweh will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain." So you can say you can say you're a prince that has power with the Most High God, but if you're not repenting, if you're not striving to keep the commandments, and if you're not having hope and believing in these last days, and if you just moving in the spirit of Babylon the Great, aka known as America, doing the same thing that your modern day Americans and United States of America citizens do, then you're walking in the spirit of literally trying to make the ministry look bad. Just put it like that, So let me get this in Matthew chapter 8, because we have Israelites that served and did righteous things in their generation. Now I'm gonna read about Peter's mother-in-law. She served in her generation. You may not understand a lot about the Bible, but with the little bit that we about to go into, you can get a glimpse and some edification from it. You may be a woman, So what does serving look like? So this is Matthew chapter 8 and verse 14, and it reads, Matthew 8 and 14, "And when Yahushua was come into Peter's house, he saw his wife's mother laid and sick of a fever, and he touched her hand, and the fever left her, and she arose and ministered unto them." So it means, when it says minister, it means she served them. She probably was making them food. She probably was making sure they had some to drink. She probably was trying to wash their feet. That's what it means by she ministered. She served them. What are you doing? Are you just cussing people out, known for just trying to cuss people out? Even though we understand, certain words have a different meaning according to the English, but you just known for just, stirring up spirits, trying to fight all the time. People just want to be set apart from you. They don't want to come around you, or if somebody hear your name or see you, they're gonna say, "Well, hey, I know this brother or sister got a word for me today. I know I can come around them and get some enlightenment, get some joy, or you going around somebody and you already know it's gonna be hell and high water and demons and devils roused up, just smelling liquor all on your breath, and you got to ball your fist up because you don't know when you gotta fight. You don't know if you gotta just kind of lie to get up out of that conversation and then repent for bearing false witness, or if you just need to go around them and cut them up with the word or not. So I mean, how are you serving your generation? Are you known for scamming, playing cards, gambling? Are you known for just asking people for something? "Hey, can I borrow a couple of dollars? I'm gonna pay you. I'm gonna pay you back. Or are you known for giving your last? Well, hey, you asked me for $20, but all I got is $5, so I'm gonna give you $1. Are you known for, "Hey, brother, hey, let's go out tonight. It's gonna be lit. We got the weekend off. Martin Luther King Day coming up. Even though we know about the truth, we don't keep those pagan days. But hey, let's go out and let's have fun. I got that Cavassier. I got that. No, hey, we need to be bringing forth fruit. Hey, brother, look, we living in the last days, brother. I don't know how much more time I got according to the grace of the Most High. But, hey, let's go on a fast together, brother. What days you off this week, Or a sister, I've been wanting to sow. Can you teach me how to sow? I mean, what are you known for? Are you known for giving people your time? Are you known for taking away people's virtue? You come around and everybody's mood just changed. You just putting your head down. And then the first thing somebody say, hey, what's wrong with you? What you mean what's wrong with me? You coming around here with these demons. That's what's wrong. So, I mean, what are we doing? Now, I want to get this real quick because we can't be worldly. Now, this is St. John chapter 3. St. John chapter 3 and verse 19, and it reads, and this is the condemnation, that light is come into the world. Now, who's the light? The light is Yahweh Shai, the anointing, the righteous. Even though we will never be as righteous as the prophets before us, as the apostles before us, as the man himself, the Son of Man, the anointed, the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Even though we know the word, it says we all are as filthy rags. We're not saying that you actually can be squeaky clean. When you in this flesh, you're going to fall short. But don't let that be a stumbling block and an excuse for you not to strive to better yourself. So stop saying we all as filthy rags. We know that we're filthy rags. We know that. Stop using that as a crutch to continue to not have to walk according to the path that you got to walk. Hey, Ezra even said it best in 2nd Ezra, the 7th chapter. How else you going to get to the kingdom if you don't travel this dangerous road? Fire on one side, water on the other one, But you letting these spirits say, well, we all 50 rags, like a menstrual rag, you ain't never gonna be clean. I mean, where's the faith in the Lord at with that? Well, I mean, come on now. Let's not be deceived. So this is St. John 3 and 19 one more time. And this is the condemnation, that light is come into the world, and men loved darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil. So you got to ask yourself, do you love to be in darkness? Are you comfortable with being in darkness? Do you love the wicked, evil deeds that you've once done, and that you should have put that old man and that old woman off? You should kept them in the grave. And if they come back up, you got to put them back in the grave. Verse 20, St. John 3 and 20. For everyone that doeth evil hated the light, neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved. But he that doeth truth cometh to the light, that his deeds may be made manifest, that they are wrought in Most High God. So it says verse 20, for everyone that doeth evil hated the light. So you got to ask yourself, do you hate the light? Are you just saying you're an Israelite, but your deeds and your actions are saying you're really evil and you really hate the light? Now let me get Proverbs chapter 6 real quick. Because we got to ask ourselves, are we moving in the spirit of gravitating and moving towards the light, or we just like the darkness? Now this is Proverbs chapter 6, and I'm gonna start at verse 23. Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 23, and it reads, for the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life. So how else are we gonna find our way in this wicked kingdom, Babylon the Great? America. How else are we gonna have that light? And what is that light? It's the commandments. So how else are we going to be able to be set apart and to be holy if we aren't gravitating towards the words of the Most High and doing what the Lord said? So it says Proverbs 6 and 23 one more time. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life. Now I want to get First Samuel real quick, cause you had Israelites that knew they was Israelites, you know, but hey, they was going off, you know. So this is First Samuel chapter 8, and I'm gonna start at verse 1, and it reads, First Samuel 8 and 1. And it came to pass when Samuel was old that he made his sons judges over Israel, which we should be doing that. If you a man that has a son, you know, you should be building your household up to continue to follow after the ways of the Most High. You know, don't just get him a ball and say, look, get me out of the hood. You know, don't just give him a controller saying everybody's making money off the internet. I want you to go viral and make a lot of money being a video game streamer. You know, don't just get him a remote and saying, I just got off work, I'm tired. You know, no, man, order your household up rightly. You know, don't keep telling yourself, well, they young, they don't know yet, I'm gonna wait till they get old. You better not let the spiritual demon Satan get up in your mind and tell you your child is young. They're not gonna understand what you're saying. So wait till they get 12, 14 years old. No, you better get your son in order now. You know, you may not have tomorrow. You may not have next year. You know, hey, your son may not even see 20 years old. The kingdom might have already came by then. You know, First Samuel 8 and 1 more time. And it came to pass when Samuel was old that he made his sons judges over Israel. Now the name of his firstborn was Joel, and the name of his second Abiah. They were judges in Beersheba, and his sons walked not in his ways, but turned aside after lucre, and took bribes, and perverted judgment. Then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together and came to Samuel unto Ramah, and said unto him, Behold, thou art old, and thy sons walk not in thy ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations. And that's where we fell short at, man, asking for a king. But more so, I want to touch on the fact that they was in the truth and they was walking in the commandments, but hey, they was doing wicked, heinous acts, you know, jamming up women, popping women, you know, taking bribes. You know, you supposed to have been given judgment, but you saying, hey, but give me $100, you know. I'm not going to get you overthrown. You know, I'm not going to get you stoned. This ain't no respected persons. We're not supposed to be doing that, you know. So this is what happened. So, of course, we asked for a king, and then the Lord, he said, well, y'all don't want it. Y'all don't want me to be over y'all? Okay, well, I'm going to put a wicked man in front of y'all, and he's really going to be he's really going to overthrow y'all. So, 1 Samuel 8 and 5 one more time. And said unto him, Behold, thou art old, and thy sons walk not in thy ways. And that's what a lot of us gotta understand. Are we walking in the ways of the Lord? You know, how are we serving in this generation? You know, is your brother on your left walking in the ways of being worldly? You know, are you walking in the ways of being worldly? Is your sister walking in the ways of being worldly? Or are you really walking in the ways of what an Israelite should be? You know, even though everybody want to say hateful and wicked things about us, you know, that where we should be getting condemned for the Lord's sake, for righteous sake. You know, like Paul said, you know, don't be accused as a murderer or as a thief, but more so be accused for a righteous accusation. Roughly paraphrasing. Verse 6, 1 Samuel 8 and 6. But the thing displeased Samuel when they said, Give us a king to judge us. And Samuel prayed unto the Lord. And the Lord Yahweh said unto Samuel, Hearken unto the voice of the people in all that they say unto thee, for they have not rejected thee, but they have rejected me, that I should not reign over them, according to all the works which they have done since the day that I brought them up out of Egypt, even unto this day, wherewith they have forsaken me and served other gods. So do they also unto thee. Now therefore hearken unto their voice, howbeit yet protest solemnly unto them, and shew them the manner of the king that shall reign over them. So that's what we wanted. We didn't want to serve the Lord We wanted to serve flesh and blood. And so Saul came into place, and took our sisters, and appointed them over him and over his captains, took our goodly pleasant things and the increase of our vineyards, and gave them to his captains and for himself, you know. So more so, the moral of the story: do you want to serve flesh and blood, or do you want to serve the Most High? You know, and that's what this whole mission is: to be on the path of serving the Most High God. Now I want to get a couple more before I get off and walk the camp real quick. I'm in the parking lot. Now this is Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 6, and it reads, "For thou art an holy people unto the Most High God." So it says, let me read it one more time. I kind of messed it up. Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. "For thou art an holy people unto the Lord Yahweh thy Most High God. The Lord Yahweh thy Most High God had chosen thee," talking about the so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, "to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth." So the Lord chose the Israelites to be set apart, you know. And like the Hebrew daughter put in the chat, Proverbs 19 and 16, in the Good News Translation: "Keep God's laws and you will live longer. If you ignore them, you will die." That's right. Mighty precept. And being set apart, it also says the same thing in Deuteronomy chapter 14, a peculiar people. But another thing, being set apart, because how can you tell if an Israelite is set apart or if they're wicked? You got to look at their works. You got to look at their fruits, their labors. So this is Acts chapter 13. So let's see a certain individual that was walking in the spirit of the world, sorcery and witchcraft. So like this is Acts chapter 13. We're gonna get maybe one or two more, maybe three more. Acts chapter 13 and verse. I'm gonna start at verse 8. Acts chapter 13 and verse 8. I'm gonna start at verse 7, and it reads. I'm gonna start at verse 6. So like it. Acts chapter 13 and verse 6. "And when they had gone through the isles unto Paphos, they found a certain sorcerer, a false prophet, a Jew, whose name was Bar Jesus, which was with the deputy of the country, Sergius Paulus, a prudent man." So he wasn't no low-level known man, "who called for Barnabas and Saul, and desired to hear the word of the Most High God." And you got a lot of people that may quote a lot of scriptures, but they may not really have the understanding, and they may not have the spirit to go along with that, So you can't be swayed away by how they talk, but you really got to see how their actions are in line with what they're saying, That's why the Lord said in 1 John, "Believe not every spirit, but try those spirits, whether they be of the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua." Acts chapter 13 and verse 8. "But Elmas, the sorcerer, for so is his name by interpretation, withstood them, seeking to turn away the deputy from the faith. Then Saul, who also is called Paul, filled with the Holy Spirit, set his eyes on him and said, Oh, full of all subtlety and all mischief, thou child of the devil, thou enemy of all righteousness." So are you known as a child of the devil? Are you known as an enemy of those that striving for righteousness? Your work's gonna really attest to it. So Paul said to this wicked witchcraft sorcerer, he said, "Thou child of the devil." He called him a child of the devil, because he's seen what type of spirit and what type of actions and what type of works this individual was moving in, and what they was attesting to. And he said that this individual is an enemy of all righteousness, So you got to ask yourself, are you an enemy of all unrighteousness? I mean, Salaki, are you an enemy of all righteousness? You just talking about everybody, and you don't even really know the full extent, Now it says, thou child of the devil, thou enemy of all righteousness, wilt thou not cease to pervert the ways of the Lord? And you got to ask yourself, are you a stumbling block that's trying to keep people from the Lord? Are you trying to keep the word from going to and fro? Are you a scoffer? What are you known as? When you open up your mouth and when people look at you and examine and judge the matter. Verse 11, and now behold, the hand of the Lord is upon thee, and thou shalt be blind, not seeing the sun for a season. And immediately there fell on him a mist and a darkness, and he went about seeking some to lead him by the hand. Then the deputy, when he saw what was done, believed, being astonished at the doctrine of the Lord. You see that? So, Paul, he allowed the Most High to use that spirit to prevent that man from continuing to be a stumbling block, and he prevented that man from continue to be what's the word I want to use? I done lost the word. He prevented that spirit from continuing to mock him. So let me get one more. This is Acts chapter 5. So he was known for a sorcerer. So this is Acts chapter 5, and I'm going to start at verse 1. And it reads, but a certain man named Ananias, with Sapphira, his wife, sold a possession and kept back part of the price. His wife also being privy to it, and brought a certain part and laid it at the apostles' feet. But Peter said, Ananias, why has Satan filled thine heart to lie to the Holy Spirit and to keep back part of the price of the land? So are you known as a liar? You just always lying. You will find a way to lie about any and everything. Are you known as a liar? Verse 4. Whilst it remained, Acts chapter 5 and verse 4. Whilst it remained, was it not thine own? And after it was sold, was it not in thy own power? Why hast thou conceived this thing in thy heart? Thou hast not lied unto men, but unto the Most High God. So you got to be careful who you're lying to, because you could be lying to the Most High God more so. Even though we know the Lord uses flesh and blood to do whatever he desires, just like Peter was making it aware, that you're more so lying to the Holy Spirit. Verse 5, Acts chapter 5 and verse 5. And Ananias, hearing these words, fell down and gave up the ghost. So the Lord put him to death. And great fear came on all them that heard these things. And the young men arose, wound him up, and carried him out and buried him. And it was about the space of 3 hours after, when his wife, not knowing what was done, came in. And Peter answered unto her, tell me whether ye sold the land for so much. And she said, yea, for so much. Then Peter said unto her, how is it that ye have agreed together to tempt the Spirit of the Lord? Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Behold, the feet of them which have buried thy husband are at the door, and shall carry thee out. Then fell she down straightway at his feet, and yielded up the ghost. And the young man came in and found her dead, and carrying her forth, buried her by her husband. And great fear came upon all the church, and upon as many as heard these things. So you got to ask yourself, what spirit are you moving in? You got to ask yourself, how are you serving your generation? Are you serving it as somebody that's trying to be set apart and striving for righteousness and holiness? Or are you just being worldly wicked, moving in the spirit of worldly wickedness? So Lord willing, this was edifying. Fisherman for Zion back with another video. Don't count this as a light thing to do. Keep the Sabbath holy and righteous to the best of your ability. No cooking, no cleaning, no working, no buying, no selling, no sex on the Sabbath. Strive to be set apart. Figure out, are you going to serve the Lord in righteousness, or are you gonna be wicked? You know, because you can't be here and you can't be there at the same time. You either gonna love the Lord or mammon. You know, you can't hold on to two things at the one time. You still got grace. If you're looking at this video, you still alive, you're still breathing. So you got a chance to repent and keep the commandments and believe on the Lord. Having works as well as having faith to go with that. You know, works without faith is dead. So we got to understand what the mission and the purpose and the goal is. Figure out where you want to be, how you want to be known. You know, do you want to be known as a wicked Israelite or a righteous, striving for righteous Israelite, striving to perfect your craft? You know, Kobe Bryant was in the gym all day and night, you know. So, you know, even though we understand that a lot of things is done for a reason by the will and the Most High God, he gave you that ability to know the word, to believe on him. You know, how do you want to carry your legacy out? How do you want your family to carry the legacy out? How do you want to be remembered? That's what you have to ask yourself. That's what we got to strive for. And we got whatever we put our hands to, we got to go 10 times hard. You know, because the Lord gave us a way to repent and to forsake the flesh and the cares of this world and to not die to death according to what we should be put to death according to. Adultery should have been stoned. You broke the Sabbath, you should have been put to death. You know, a lot of us broke commandments that we should have been killed for. You know, so now we have the Messiah, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, the righteous. So, hey, what we gonna do with it? Fisherman of Zion, peace and blessings to you. Shalom.